The New York Giants, respectfully, shut the hell up.
That and, understand it.
Y'all are sorry.
Agreed.
Y'all are pathetic. The only reason why you get away with it is because the Jets have been worse.
How do you not wonder, well, why was I the number 2 the whole time then? Why wasn't he the number 2 then, if that's what you saw?
So a few days ago, we made a video on the end of Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, and that was just a video that pertained to Daniel Jones being benched by the New York Giants. But today, the Giants took it a step further, really putting their foot down and telling their fan base where this team's future lies. So before we get to the content, we're on the grind to 1 million subscribers. Make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications to help our channel get there. Now that we get all that out of the way, work! Just because my NFL season is over as a Cowboys fan doesn't mean it has to be over for the rest of us. Thankfully, I live in Los Angeles, so if I want to go and see any Rams or Chargers games, you best believe that I'm using SeatGeek. I personally love SeatGeek because they do a great job educating each and every user about whether or not they're getting a good deal, which typically for football games, I might have an idea if I'm getting a good deal or not, but let's say if I want to go to a concert or a festival, I'm clueless about what the best seat for the best price is. Thankfully, SeatGeek tells you by having a green dot on every good deal on their app and a red dot if they think you're getting ripped off. They rank on a scale of 1 to 10 to make it even easier, and they have sports, concerts, festivals, and all sorts of events. And even better, right now they're hooking up my subscribers fat. Use promo code Mikerophone10 to get 10% off of your next purchase on any ticket on SeatGeek. So what are you waiting for? Take out your phone, download the SeatGeek app, add my promo code Mikerophone10 for a limited time before they take it off, and get yourself some tickets to watch your favorite football team play, especially if they happen to be competitive. Because unfortunately for me, it doesn't look like this year is going to be my year. Download link is also in the description down below, and thank you SeatGeek for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? In our last video, we discussed how the New York Giants finally decided to bench Daniel Jones, and the reaction from their fan base was very mixed. On one hand, fans were very excited about the fact that the New York Giants were essentially signaling that this is the end of the Daniel Jones era. But at the same time, fans of the New York Giants and even players that played for the New York Giants are very confused about the way that this move has been handled. Look, I know I've shown you clips in the past of Malik Neighbors not necessarily being the biggest fan of Daniel Jones.
Actually did talk to Daniel Jones. He was just like, I'm happy that you're here.
Daniel said he was trying to give me the ball. He saw a lot of pressure in his face, so, I can't control that, so.
Nah, nothing really different. Watch the target tape. That was it. I was up.
And I'll be honest, the New York Giants haven't really done the greatest job trying to indicate to their fan base that they know what they're doing. And honestly, I think the worst thing that could have happened for this entire staff was going on the off-season edition of Hard Knocks, because Joe Schoen looked terrible in regards to how he handled the Saquon Barkley situation.
I'm torn, Ed, because I still think he can play and I think he can help us. I didn't want to come in at a number because I really don't have a great idea where the market is. If you want to come back and be a Giant, let's try to make sense.
Even Brian Daboll looked corny trying to interview Jaden Daniels. Look at the way he slouched back here asking Jaden Daniels if he really wants to be a New York Giant.
Let's cut to the chase. What's up? Would you want to be here? Would you want to be here? Quarterback for the New York Giants. Yeah. Okay. That's first. That's important to me. And you'd feel good about being here.
I feel good.
Okay. That's number one.
But when it came time for the NFL draft, I think the New York Giants made the right move. They weren't in a good situation to draft a quarterback anyway, unless if they wanted to reach on Bo Nix, but at the time of the NFL draft, a lot of scouts had Bo Nix as a second-round prospect. Obviously, he turned out to be the second best or the best quarterback in this year's NFL draft so far, but I'm not going to say that the New York Giants messed up this NFL draft because their goal was to give Daniel Jones one opportunity to show them that he can be their franchise QB, and they already signed him to a big contract extension following the 2023 season anyway. The benching of Daniel Jones caused a huge ripple effect in the Giants organization. For one, Giants players aren't really happy with this benching, believe it or not. I'm sure Malik Neighbors is to a certain extent, but most of the players in the organization understand that this was done primarily because Daniel Jones needed to play a certain amount of games this year in order to get a bonus in his his contract. And the fact that he was benched before he could meet that requirement made the Giants organization come off as fairly classless. And this is a very big deal because whenever players are evaluating teams to sign with in free agency, they take things like this into consideration. It's a huge reason why the Dallas Cowboys aren't able to get any big free agents, because nobody wants to play for a football team whose team owner flies in on a helicopter as they're practicing. It gets even stranger. You see, according to Jordan Schultz, there is disappointment amongst some Giants players regarding how the Daniel Jones situation was handled over the past week, especially with players aware that it was primarily a financial decision by the organization. This is what Dexter Lawrence had to say.
Hard, but I've been a part of this business. Just like last year when they traded my best friend in the middle of the season. It's part of the business, so and I understand that part of it.
And believe it or not, Dexter Lawrence is correct. Another offensive player said over the phone, "We're not idiots. They did it because of money, so be it. But Daniel has been all class, never complained, and is now being completely disregarded. The team record is bad. You can point fingers everywhere. To try to blame him is trash, and making him third string is weak as f." The sense I've gotten from multiple sources, players, coaches, and executives, is that the issues within the organization go far beyond just one person. And Tommy DeVito would be named the starter, which is even more confusing because, with all due respect, Tommy DeVito isn't the best quarterback on this roster. It's almost as if the Italian mob has some sort of dirt on Joe Schoen, which I don't really know what dirt they could possibly have, especially after Schoen's appearance on the off-season edition of Hard Knocks. I mean, his son literally told him to draft Jaden Daniels, for crying out loud.
Who do you want me to take? Give me a name.
Jaden Daniels. Trade up and get him.
Okay, if Jaden Daniels...
You only get this job once. I'm trying to win.
It's just crazy because last year, the New York Giants faced off against the New England Patriots in the regular season, and one of the worst games you would have ever seen. It came down to a 3-point game where the New England Patriots were in field goal range for a 35-yard attempt to potentially send the game into overtime. Their kicker, Chad Ryland, missed, and as a result of this miss, the Patriots were in position to select Drake May with the number 3 overall pick, whereas the New York Giants had to offer up an additional first-round pick to move up to the number 3 spot. And it was no secret that the Giants were doing everything they possibly could to potentially move on from Daniel Jones during this past offseason. There just wasn't any good options really there, except maybe signing Russell Wilson. But it gets even worse. Drew Lock is really pissed off. If you're not going to play Daniel Jones, at least give Drew Lock an opportunity, because you did pay Drew Lock $5 million to be your backup QB. Not even Drew Lock is getting the start, and that $5 million could have gone a long way in retaining Saquon Barkley. I mean, what are the Giants doing? This is Drew Lock's reaction to the fact that he's not starting.
How do you not wonder, well, why was I the number 2 the whole time then? Why wasn't he the number 2 then, if that's what you saw?
Again, that's a question I might still have for myself. Noah's expressed to me that I was going to be the 2, and I don't know, it's just an interesting situation. Not much I can really say about it besides, again, I'm gonna be here for him, and we're still communicating, still very good friends, believe it or not. I'm gonna be here for him. This team needs to get a win, and we start winning, everything gets a little better around here.
Now, the reason why it's not Drew Lock is, you guessed it, money. If you take a look at Drew Lock's contract, he gets $250,000 each for 40%, 50%, 60%, or 70% plus snaps. If he gets a 92.5 passer rating, a 65% completion rate, an 88 passer rating plus 15 touchdown passes, and an 88 passer rating plus 2,000 passing yards, he also gets $250,000. If the team gets a playoff berth, he gets $500,000 each. Respectfully, I don't think these are numbers that Drew Lock can hit at this stage of the season. Paying a guy and then avoiding trying to pay that guy is just hilarious. And when you consider the fact that the New York Giants could have opted to sign Russell Wilson instead in the offseason, it makes it double as hilarious. Russell Wilson was signed on a veteran minimum contract, so the fact that the Giants declined to sign him just gives you an idea of where this organization is. Now, things would get very, very sad bad from here. I mean, this clip of Daniel Jones looking very disengaged in his first practice with the Giants would leak, and then the New York Giants would demote him to QB4, where he would be the scout team quarterback. And following that practice, Daniel Jones would come out and issue this statement, which essentially seemed like a gigantic goodbye.
The opportunity to play for the New York Giants was truly a dream come true, and I'm extremely grateful to the Mara and Tish families for the chance to play here. The Giants are truly a first-class organization, and I have nothing but genuine respect and appreciation for the people who have built it and who helped carry on that tradition. I've met so many special people and created relationships that will truly last a lifetime. Thank you to all my teammates, coaches, and staff that have done so much for me these past 6 years. The reality of the NFL is it's hard to win games and requires consistent performance from everyone involved. We didn't do that well enough, so the idea to change something happens, and I understand. I love the game, I love being part of a team. I'm excited for the next opportunity and know that there's a lot of good football in front of me, and I'm excited about that.
He would also say he understood his limited involvement.
Well, I got the injury guarantee, so that's that, and I understand it. They don't want to take any risks. So yeah, at that point it's just do as you're told.
And I can understand this because making him QB4 behind Tim Boyle, in my opinion, was a little excessive at this point. So when we woke up this morning, the New York Giants officially announced it. According to Adam Schefter, Ari Meirov, Ian Rappaport, and Jordan Schultz, the New York Giants are releasing quarterback Daniel Jones after Jones asked for his release and the team decided to grant it after his benching. The Giants organization released this statement via John Mara. Daniel came to see me this morning and asked if we would release him. We mutually agreed that would be best for him and for the team. Daniel has been a great representative of our organization, first class in every way. His handling of this situation yesterday exemplifies just that. We are all disappointed in how things have worked out. We hold Daniel in high regard and have a great appreciation for him. We wish him nothing but the best in the future. I wish every quarterback that was drafted in the NFL had as long of a leash as Daniel Jones did, because in the case of the New York Giants, the one thing that they did right in this case was at least they gave him as much of an opportunity to grow as humanly possible. I've always defended Schoen's decisions in building around Daniel Jones. I mean, Evan Neal at a specific point was considered to be a top 3 pick in the 2022 NFL draft. He fell to the Giants at number 7, but he turned out to be a huge bust. Trading a 3rd round pick for Darren Waller was a good decision. Drafting Malik Neighbors clearly was a good decision. The Giants did their absolute best to build around Daniel Jones, but it seems like every decision they made ended up being a gigantic whiff. And honestly, the bad decisions outweigh the good. It seemed like no matter what you did for Daniel Jones, he was just giving you the same result over and over again once he got paid. And just looking at his career, I wished more teams gave their quarterbacks the opportunity that Daniel Jones received. I wished more quarterbacks got to play 70 games in their entire career before the team finally decided that they were going to move on from him. We saw the Colts at one point give up on Anthony Richardson prematurely this past year. We saw the Carolina Panthers bench Bryce Young this past year and then eventually bring him back. I wish teams would give their quarterbacks a longer leash, because the Giants did everything they possibly could, and they never scapegoated Daniel Jones. They put the blame finger on themselves until this past year. Daniel Jones had to play with 3 different head coaches. He never really had a truly dominant wide receiver core, but even if he did have that wide receiver core, I don't really think he'd be able to do much with it. He came out of Duke University as a tall, dink and dunk quarterback that also had an above average athletic ability. Given this skill set, I really think that Daniel Jones will find a lot of success as a backup quarterback for the remainder of his career in the NFL. And who knows, he might have the potential to be the next Geno Smith or Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. But at the very minimum, he has the skill set to be a high-end backup, and I'm sure he'll find success on another team. I'm sure he's not that sad about it because he got a huge payday already once in his career, which is more than what Mitchell Trubisky or any other previous draft bust did get. If you're a Giants fan, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about Daniel Jones' release. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.